Greetings and welcome to MPK TV News Extra. My name is Kanya Ngayo. Grade 12 learners in the Eastern Cape say they are ready to write their final exams. MEC of Education in the province, Fundile Gade, says they are aiming for a pass rate of 88% this year. Last year, the province had a pass rate of 84.98%.
Grade 12 is considered the most important grade as getting a matric certificate opens up many opportunities in the lives of young people. 19-year-old Cinga Dwala Begwa from Motherwell is one of the grade 12 learners who will sit for the final exams this year. Cinga, who dreams of becoming a top chef in the future, says it is because of his parents' support that he was able to reach this grade.
Abazali bam bajonge kum nabantwana baseka bajonge kum ufishke kundimotivator phaa ekhaya ke ngoku ngoba mosi umama wam naye ugqibe grade 12 waye emsebenzini. So ndim ufishke umama wam ke kundinikana laa inspiration uba mandiye eyunivesithi okanye ekholeji ngoba abantwana basekhaya bazabona kum as a firstborn, and ke ngoku kum ndenza ke ngoku ndibe inspired kakhulu ngoba ekhaya andinikwa i-lack of i-motivation, bayandimotiveyitha every day. Naxa sendifuna izifunelo bayakwazi undincedisa. So ukuya eyunivesithi kanye ekholeji andiboni uba khe ndizasokola kakhulu ngoba bayakwazi undincedisa xa ndisokola ezifundweni.
Cinga, who studies at Soqaisa School, which has been in the news for its principal being accused by parents of using tricks to ensure that his school achieves top results, says he feels ready to sit for exams.
And ndingathi ndingu-60% boredi bam bolaa nto bemviwo uphela kwenyaka ne. 10% ngosisarivayisa ndizakhabe nam ndiziphusha ke ukuba ndizamphusha ii-limits zam uba ndigqithe ii-limits zam uba mandikwazi ulaa nto uba 100% uba redi.
Yolanda Dwatwa, who is 18 years old and wants to study engineering, says she's also ready for the exams. This Fulumzi High School learner says their teachers have done a great job in ensuring they're prepared for the exams.
Kotishara esibanikuweyo thina single grade 12 ka-2025 basinike abanye otishara because otishara baye bali-extend ixesha labo. I know sometimes akufuneka babe lapha kwezinye hours apha esikolweni, but uye ubone uba uyafuna intle xa ubona uba utishara uyafuna uyenza because iyaku-encourage nawe uba okay yenze le nto because there are people who want to see you up there.
This young lady who stays with her father says the most important thing is to be focused and avoid distractions.
Umntana ozokwenza ugrade 12 ndingathi kuye funeka apushe hard because ngoku istandard se-examination siphezulu, and ke ngoku nestandard songena kwi-universities, colleges ziyazinyuka eziba kuhamba. So umntu ndingathi bani bafuneke xa izawungena ka-grade 12 there's something emnye imdistract, funeka ayisuse ngoku, eliminate i-distractions because zizawuye zingene endleleni yoba ufunde.
Last year, the school had a pass rate of 98.3%. The school's acting principal, Nono Quza, says they do not believe in putting pressure on learners to achieve a high pass rate.
Besithe kwi-vision esinayo yesikolo sathi sifuna into kokubana sireache u-90% and above starting from last year. Siyenzile ke loo nto, and ekuyenzeni kwethu sayenza kakhulu because instead of u-90 siye safumana u-98%. So kuloo nto koba sisenolophulo and with into yokokubana ii-learners are not the same. Sazixelela into kokubana sizawuhlala kwinto ethi at least this year we will make it a point into kokubana u-95% siyamfumana yena ngokunokwakhe. Although last year besingu-98, not that we are dropping, but we have looked at the type of learners that we have.
The responsibility of getting students ready for the end of year exams is not just on teachers but also on parents. A parent of a grade 12 student says that she is not assigning any household task to her child during the exam period and suggests that other parents do the same.
Ukuklina depends on me because andifuna be-overwhelmed ngumsebenzi wesikolo aphinde be-overwhelmed umsebenzi wasendlini. Funa ukukhuthaza abazali bangaba iba hands on kwimfundo yomntana. Funa ukwazi uba wenze ntoni namhlanje esikolweni, why uphume ngeli xesha, bekhona utishara phambi kona eklasini, okay ndingakuncedisa phi.
Eastern Cape Education MEC Fundile Gada says they are targeting a pass rate of 88% this year.
Nyaka sibeke u-88. Ngokwe-system zethu we are going to get that 88 because already we have achieved it in terms of the synopsis that we have made for the first quarter and the second quarter.
The class of 2025 will write the final exams on the 21st of October. For MPK TV News, I am Sisipho Mtiki in Gqeberha.
According to the Eastern Cape Department of Health, diabetes is one of the leading causes of death in the Eastern Cape. The World Health Organization says that diabetes is the chronic disease that occurs either when the pancreas does not produce enough insulin or when the body cannot effectively use the insulin it produces. Our reporter Taron Wellman delves deeper into what makes diabetes so dangerous.
25-year-old journalist Cleo Lottering has type 1 diabetes. She was diagnosed at the age of 1 year and 3 months old. She says that she used to suffer from seizures at night, acute cases of tonsillitis, and ongoing fever. It was when her mother took her to her doctor that he diagnosed her. Lottering had to learn the responsibility of living with diabetes at a young age when she had to take her medication at the age of 4 and learn how to manage her sugar levels and live with this chronic condition.
I was dependent on others to help me. I couldn't speak to say I'm not feeling well or I've got a headache. So as time went by and with the support of my mom and my diabetic practitioners and my dad, I learned how to cope with my condition. And I've been injecting myself since I was 4 years old at school. And I actually used to get bullied a lot because I have diabetes and I was different from other children. So it was a very difficult process for me growing up. And it took me years to accept the fact that I have diabetes.
Lottering says her condition is very stressful. She has been diagnosed with major depression in the past. She says she felt that it controls every area of her life.
When I'm stressed, my readings go up. If I inject too much, my readings go down. Just the day, overall, my mood, my hormones, everything affects diabetes. And when I was younger, I would often hear people say, oh, you got diabetes because you ate too many sweet things or you didn't look after yourself, which is not the case with type 1 diabetes. It is very difficult, and it's actually sad to see that the younger generations, younger children are also being diagnosed with this condition. So you need to have a good support system. You need to have good doctors. Like my doctors have been with me since the age of 4. So I've got specialists that are supporting me on my diabetes management. Another thing diabetics are prone to is diabetic burnout, which is where they feel it's the same process every single day. I need to test, I need to inject, I need to take medication. So it becomes overwhelming for them in that sense, to the point where they actually don't test or they don't inject because they just cannot handle the stress any longer.
36-year-old Dr. Tulisa Kopele, a medical doctor based in Gqeberha, who graduated from the University of Cape Town in 2017 and works for the Nelson Mandela Bay Health Department, says that diabetes is a metabolic condition where a person can't control the blood sugar levels in their body.
The issue with diabetes is that once the body breaks down the sugar or the carbohydrates into its pure components, our body can either not absorb it optimally because we don't have insulin, or our bodies can be resistant to the insulin that we do make, which means then that the sugar that we have broken down that we need for energy cannot be used by the body because we can't absorb it.
Dr. Kopele says early diagnosis and treatment are very important, as the longer a person goes undiagnosed, the greater the risk of them developing complications. Complications are related to elevated levels of sugar in the blood, causing problems with the blood vessels.
You can get things like stroke, you can get issues with the eyes where they start not being able to see properly, you can get heart attacks, you can get kidney failure, and then they also have problems with the nerves, which is why you find them that they can't feel with their feet. That will lead them to getting sores. It's a whole process which can then lead to them, you'll find a lot of diabetics, some of them have been amputated. It's not so much the diabetes that has caused the foot to die, but it causes numbness in the feet, and then you can't feel when you have a sore there or blister there. And because there's high levels of sugar in the blood, that predisposes the bacteria. It's easy for them to grow because there's sugar. Then that makes the foot rot even further, and then that's when we have to unfortunately amputate it.
According to Dr. Kopele, diabetes is a lifestyle disease and treatment with medication is just one aspect of it. Another important part for diabetics is changing their lifestyle through incorporating exercise, drinking water, and utilizing a specific type of diet. However, Dr. Kopele recognizes that this can be difficult for lower-income households.
The things that are cheap are the things that are very high in sugar, and they are affordable to a majority of people. If you think of things that are low GI foods, those things become substantially more expensive than, like I said, these processed foods that are easy to get. So that becomes quite difficult then to try and to tell a patient who has a low socioeconomic status, maybe is not even working, maybe is dependent on the 350 Rand grant that they receive, or the child grant, or the old age grant, which aren't substantial themselves, to tell that person that they have to now change their diet to suit the condition becomes substantially difficult, and it makes it that much harder for us to manage.
With early diagnosis being so important, Dr. Kopele has highlighted the importance of regular checkups and pleads that people not be discouraged by long clinic or hospital lines. Reporting for MPK TV News, I'm Taryn Wellman in Gqeberha.
It is time for us to take a short break. We'll be back with more news. Chippa United is combining sports with education. The club is currently accepting applications for its college and sports academy, which is set to operate next year in Buffalo City. This institution is providing talented young players with the opportunity to pursue their dreams while also receiving top-notch education.
19-year-old Chippa United under-23 player Phumelelo Salelo from Dujwa had to quit school at grade 10 because of moving to East London to pursue his dreams of playing soccer. However, the Scenery Park resident is now going to be the one of the Chippa United College and Sport Academy students next year. This young man, who was raised by his grandmother in Klobo village, says he is happy that he will be studying while also concentrating on breaking into the PSL.
Ndiyavuya kakhulu ngokubona ndidlalela ndingomnye wabadlali abadlalile i-DTC yeChippa. iChippa United phana iye nekholeji evulileyo. So ke ngoku ndiyavuya kakhulu futhi ndingomnye futhi abadlali beChippa United be-DTC efumene ithuba lokuba iphinde iyofunda, iphinde ifunde phaa kwikholeji, ifunde malunga nento edibene nesport ngoba ndingumntu osithanda kakhulu isport.
Dr. Solomons Onona, who will serve as the principal of the college located at Buffalo City Stadium in East London, where the team's development players are located, emphasizes that sports will be the central focus of the curriculum at the college.
We're going to make sports co-curricular activity. Those who knows education, when say co-curricular, we're going to teach sports like mathematics. So we will have class for sports. When it's time for sports on the timetable, Then we will just disperse, we will just make the kids go. If you're doing boxing, you go for boxing class. If you're doing swimming, you go for swimming class. If you're doing athletics, you go for athletics class. Soccer class. Then after school, they will go and practice what they've learned theoretically.
Chippa United's chairman, Seviwe Mpengesi, says that in the near future, a college will be opened in Nelson Mandela Bay and in other Eastern Cape towns. He says that this college is going to be the one of the kind and that is going to bring a positive change.
We want to develop the talent of the Eastern Cape, not only from the playing side, but also from the academic side. We thought then, in the process of training them sport, let's also scale them, so that they can, through Chippa College, achieve their metrics, and then through Chippa College they can get scholarships, and then they can get some good tertiary exposure.
East London local coach Andy Lemsundu praises Chippa's decision to establish a college in the area.
Coach even abantwana abaya mentality yabo, because kukwebhola lapha eMonti ibhola lapha bingathi yafa abantwana, so ngoba nethemba elikhulu kakhulu after bevezi.
College has opened applications for both genders and will accommodate 200 students from grade 8 to 10 who will be the first class of 2028 at Chippa College and Sport Academy. Classes will commence on the 15th of January next year. For Mpuma Kapa TV, I am Dumiso Nonakasa in East London.
Well, that brings us to the end of this bulletin, and thank you for choosing MPK TV News. Take care. Mandela Bay Municipality hosted the Eastern Cape Provincial Government for the International Day for Disaster Risk Reduction Seminar under the theme Fund Resilience, Not Disasters. The provincial government, together with various stakeholders, highlighted solutions to mitigate disasters.
In 2024, Kareha experienced heavy torrential rains that wreaked havoc, causing destruction to bridges, roads, and leaving many families homeless. Earlier this year in June, the King Sabata Dalindyebo municipality experienced severe flooding that resulted in the tragic loss of lives, displacement of communities, and a significant damage to infrastructure. With some of the damaged infrastructure under construction in Nelson Mandela Bay, the MECR Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs Zolile Williams says, part of the plans for disaster risk reduction is ensuring that municipalities work to fix and maintain the city's infrastructure. He emphasized the need for the municipality's drainage system to be cleaned to prevent flooding.
You see, there's nothing that creates disasters as unmanaged refuse. If refuse is everywhere scattered, it gets into the drainage system and blocks the drainage system. So what we're saying and emphatic on is that operations and maintenance of municipalities must work hard to ensure that drainage systems are cleaned and that rubbish is collected and managed properly in rubbish dumps. And rubbish dumps on their own must be properly managed so that there are no carbon emissions that affect communities. So it's a multiplicity of actions and plans that must be implemented to protect the health and well-being and the economy of municipalities.
With some of the damaged infrastructure under construction in Nelson Mandela Bay, the MEC of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, Zolile Williams, says part of the plans for disaster risk reduction is ensuring that municipalities work to fix and maintain the city's infrastructure. He emphasized the need for the municipality's drainage system to be cleaned to prevent flooding.
Disaster risk plans should not be theoretical documents or theoretical concepts. They should be practical documents which, when disaster strikes, you can use the plan to respond. But what is critical is town planning. That is our focal point. For instance, if you look at the disaster that struck us in Mthatha, we're persuading those communities to move away from areas that are below the flood line. But taking us to court as government, we couldn't move them away. Unfortunately, climate change struck at us, and we lost many people in that event. But now, people are actually listening because as the provincial government, we're saying all those that are in those areas must move away.
Williams expressed his disappointment in the delay of response in rebuilding and restoring Karega's infrastructure. However, pleased to hear construction is underway in fixing the Karega Bridge, which will be beneficial to the metro's economy.
We don't want unnecessary delays in responding to infrastructure that must actually make the economy of the city work. For instance, you would remember that Volkswagen was affected because of that bridge. So we needed to be agile as the municipality to ensure that we quickly resolve the problem so that the economy can thrive again. Because delays in repairing infrastructure can actually make the economy or the investors decide to leave the city. And that's not what we want. We need those jobs. So I'm saying I was not happy with the speed within which we have worked in resolving those problems.
The Deputy Executive Mayor of the Metro, Gary van Niekerk, says as the municipality, they need to be more agile in responding to disaster situations and that they can do better in fixing up their drainage system.
Tenders are going out as we speak. We are now in October, but before the end of this year, we should have another assessment of these drains, and especially in these high-risk areas like Karega, that has been hard hit by disasters in the recent past. But yes, we are making an effort to make sure that these drains are cleaned. Without trying to make excuses why there were delays, we had EIAs, that's environmental impact assessments, and these things take time. You can't just go in and start repairing roads, rebuilding bridges. It's part of the statutory requirements that these things be done. But yes, we need to be more agile. We admit that freely, and should another disaster strike, we will be more ready.
The Nelson Mandela Bay municipality hopes the seminar is able to provide a comprehensive plan not only for the metro, but the province entirely, as communities and businesses are the most affected by disasters. Reporting for MPK TV News, I am Sinai Njodo in Gqeberha.
In a landmark decision, South Africa's Constitutional Court has ruled that parents are entitled to 4 months and 10 days of parental leave to be shared between them, regardless of gender or family structure. The ruling is being hailed as a major step towards gender equality and inclusive family rights, but not everyone agrees.
Nontando and Simphi Wesjaji, aged 43 and 54, have been married for 2 years and are expecting their first child in just a few weeks. While most parents-to-be are busy planning baby names, these judges are preoccupied with South Africa's new parental leave ruling, and they are not convinced it's the right move.
Mna ndicinga eyona nto irayithi into yobana laa ndlela bekuqhutyekekwa ngayo kuqala umntana ajongane nomama wakhe, indaba yobhonda nomntana ixhomekeke kwi-couple. And ke ngoku nam mos ixesha elininzi ndizawuspenda nomntanam because ndilapha endlini ndimtata okhoyo endlini, so ndicinga i-unfair kakhulu.
I'm not happy at all with the ruling because into eninzi yenziwa ngumntu ongumama mos. Umntana kufuneka ebonde kakhulu nomntu ongumama, kufuneka encelile umntana lonke elaa xesha. So xa lizawuhlulwa phakathi ixesha kuthiwe utata makafumane isixa kwelaa xesha bendizalifumana, uyabona, I don't feel that it's fair.
The couple say while they support gender equality, the practicality of splitting leave remains uncertain, especially for working families like theirs.
Irayithi ebantwini abayifunayo, but ke kuthi sobabini ayicingi isi-affect. Sizayithatha le ndlela besigqibe ngayo into yobana thina sizakwenza njani na. Of which ke ngoku ndizawuba khona apha ekuqaleni kwenantsika yokuzalwa komntana, then after that ndibuyele emsebenzini, nguye ozohlala nomntana, kamnandi sabe silapha sisendlini sobabini, and lonke ixesha sabe spenda ixesha nomntana wethu. So ibond between mna nomntana, I think that iqale umntana engekazalwa because ndibhonda naye ngoku umama ke sepregnant.
But the South African Human Rights Commission has welcomed the Constitutional Court's decision, saying it's a crucial step in recognizing modern and diverse family structures, including single parents, adoptive parents, and same-sex couples.
I think it's one of those great things because it breaks down the issue of patriarchy, that, the woman must do all of this and the man is only outside. And we welcome this as the Commission, because the Commission, we say both parents have got the responsibility for the child. In the process, that the UIF that is responsible for the sustenance during that time should also be made available. But at the same time we say, it's always those at the lower end of the labor market that suffers.
Meanwhile, the Unemployment Insurance Fund, which manages parental leave benefits, says it's now reviewing its policies to align with the court's directive.
And this judgment definitely affects UIF because within UIF benefits or types of benefits, we do have maternity benefit and we do have paternity benefit or paternity leave benefit. And paternity leave benefit is only 10 days for males or fathers, and maternity, yes, is 4 months for mothers. Now, the constitutional judgment then affects us as UIF that we really need to relook into those benefits, meaning we need to align those benefits that we have currently with the judgment of the Constitutional Court. Because we respect the Constitutional Court, we respect the Constitution of the country. What are we doing about it? Currently, 2 teams are busy analyzing the judgment, which is legal team is busy analyzing the judgment and checking whether which regulations should be in place for us to implement or to change our legislation, meaning our UI Act.
The Constitutional Court has given Parliament 36 months to amend existing labour laws, including the Basic Conditions of Employment Act and the Unemployment Insurance Act. Until then, employers are expected to comply with the new parental leave arrangements, ensuring that both parents can share the time off as they choose. Reporting for MPK TV News, I'm Khanya Ngayo in Gqeberha. It is time for us to take another ad break. We'll be back with sports news.